Survivor 3 Jungle Challenge. For a number of years now, sports competitions have been taking place in the Ecuadorian Amazon region, where mountains, rivers, and forests have replaced tracks and stadiums. In 2005, at the end of September and the beginning of October, the second Jungle Challenge was held in the canton of Joya de los Saches, with 16 teams competing. 2 were from the province of Pichincha, 2 were from the province of Sucumbíos, and the others were from the cantons of the province of Orellana. Outstanding among these teams were the Falcons, the Invincible Team of the Jungle, the Alpha Group, and the Blue Unicorn. Different types of obstacles had to be dealt with. River sports were inevitable. There was mountain biking, cross-country running, canyoning, and the participants even turned into moles, digging in the ground in search of hidden tokens that would allow them to continue the competition. One of the challenges was to construct rafts that could sail across the lakes, but without using nails or plastic rope. With much effort, they operated rudimentary sugarcane processors. They fished, and then presented the typical steamed fish dish of the region, called maito, to be judged by an expert in traditional cuisine. Trampoline jumping with intricate somersaults entertained the spectators. There was a swimming competition, and the election of Mr. Jungle and Miss Challenge highlighted the enjoyable celebration. The Jungle Challenge was held in Ecuador in the province of Orellana, in the Amazon region, to be exact, in the canton of Joya de los Saches. The early Quechua inhabitants of these regions named it Sacha, meaning jungle or mountain. The grandparents of most of these people who live in this canton decided to add the word Joya, meaning jewel, because when they arrived, they found a garden of paradise with rivers and extraordinary vegetation, hundreds of birds and wild animals, wide open to tourism. And they also knew that besides the natural resources, their strength depends on keeping their culture alive. Business people with a vision of the future have built attractive recreational centers, and in the city, there are also modern centers for entertainment and nightlife. Guadalupe Llore, who is the prefect of the province of Orellana, and the authorities of the canton sponsoring the competitions, helped tourism-related institutions plan this event, so it will be successful. John Aldas, the president of the Provincial Board of Tourism and the planner and organizer of the event, said at the inauguration of the third Jungle Challenge that in addition to the importance of sports, the purpose is to advertise the unique beauty of the Amazon. It's time to really take a stand in regard to the ecology and the biodiversity we have. Our planet is not just a planet. It's our home, and we've been entrusted with this inheritance of our children. How we turn it over to them depends entirely on us. Many species are disappearing, and if we don't act now, tomorrow it will be with pain and sorrow that our children will be able to see macaws, parrots, and happy eagles only in posters. No one deserves an inheritance of sorrow and plunder. The alternative is clear.
Vemos que otros países viven del turismo.
We see that other countries can benefit from tourism. And you young people and the teams that are going to participate today, with all this help and with all our enthusiasm, we can make the province of Orellana a province built around tourism. Oil has brought us very few benefits, and we believe that tourism has to be and will be our source of work for the years to come. Based on the previous experiences of organizing the Jungle Challenge, this third event began on Tuesday, November 28, 2006. This time, 12 teams of athletes from Pichincha, Sucumbíos, Napo, and Orellana participated. Each team was made up of 1 woman and 2 men. In the first phase, the strength of the men was measured by seeing who could carry their partner and walk the distance of 1 kilometer. Mountain biking started on the asphalt highway, and then the athletes continued on a path to the 3rd of November parish. Where they had to climb 3 waterfalls holding on to a safety rope. One of them was the Waterfall of Shells, where their ability merged into the strength and beauty of the water. Later, San Pedro Lake was waiting. Each team had to find 5 shells and take them to the judges to be able to qualify and continue the contest. In the afternoon, once again the bicycles reached La Macarena where they could rest. On the first day of the challenge, they had left the capital of the canton, passed through the 3rd of November parish, and from there gone on to San Pedro Lake at the edge of the canton of La Joya de los Saches. The competition continued in the canton of Francisco de Orellana. The city of Francisco de Orellana, more popularly known as El Coca, is the capital of the province of Orellana. Its name honors the discoverer of the Amazon River, that conqueror who was looking for gold and found a region so splendid for nature lovers. It truly surpassed the shine of that precious metal. The residents of Coca are doing their best to improve and implement new tourist resorts. Attracted by the packages promoted both inside and outside the country, an increasingly greater number of visitors are coming to stay at the numerous lodges built along the basin of the Napo River. Some operators specialize in bird watching, a tribute to life with wings. One of the important tourist centers here is the Napo Wildlife Center, strategically located on the shores of Lake Anyangu, at one end of the Asuni National Park. Here, one can enjoy wildlife appearing in every color imaginable. The media in Coca broadcast the events of the competition. This next event was bicycling into Guarani territory. The cross-country teams had to go by land to the Guarani community of Ñoneno, while the logistic team and the support groups traveled there on the Shiripuno River. Upon arriving at the site, the athletes received an official welcome and they set up a large camp because they were going to stay there with their hosts for 3 days. A refreshing swim in the company of the exuberant young Guaranis revived their energy. At night, the hospitality of the Guarani community became even more noticeable when they wanted everyone to gather under the same roof, in their spacious and practical traditional community house called Onca. They cooked together and then served the food to everyone along with their special yuca chicha beverage. The absence of hierarchy among the Guarani was apparent. They distribute their tasks equally between men and women in a very natural manner. Living together involves sharing knowledge. They showed how they extract curare, the vegetable poison they use to catch fish, and how they use vegetable color to paint their bodies. This is the third day of the competition. It is Thursday, November 30th. The athletes are exhausted from the cross-country hiking, but at last they feel comforted as they see the point chosen as the finish line. Everyone helped make the targets for the blowgun and Tukuma lance competitions. The athletes found the environment contagious and dressed in strange wilderness costumes. The ability to climb trees was clocked for both reaching the top and getting back down. The next test was related to the historic Te Ata waterfall, the waterfall of the tapers. This waterfall is famous because it is said that the early Guarani would hide in the caves behind it in order to avoid being taken into slavery by rubber traders. It was good to get back to the base camp and the protection of the harpy eagle. When a Guarani captures this majestic bird, he feeds it and respects it, considering it divine. It is admired for the strength, speed, and cunning it has when capturing its prey. After so much effort, everyone deserved a little relaxation, so the election of Miss Jungle came next. The choreography, as well as the costumes of the contestants and the members of their teams, were judged. The winner was Jasmina Grefa of the Aitaca team from the province of Napo. At night, the competition turned to its ancestral knowledge and heritage in relation to the domination of fire, a decisive step in the evolution of humankind. There was dancing and singing, that long and unending song that is said to never finish because it carries with it the long and unending story of the Guarani people. The komi, the native cotton cord tied around the waist of the men to hold the penis upright, represents power and energy, and if not worn by the women and children, means they are naked and defenseless. The families of this people live in one of the most priceless lands of the Amazon region, the Yasuni National Park. Because of what it represents in relation to the conservation of the flora and fauna of the planet, the Ecuadorian government has declared it the largest natural protected area of national patrimony. It is an inexhaustible laboratory where science still has much to discover. Here, The numbers are beyond imagination. In the park, there are 500 species of birds, 200 species of mammals, 100 species of amphibians, 62 species of serpents, and an uncountable number of insects. But also, and most importantly, the Asuni Park is the home of these people who have every right to continue living where they have always lived. The Waorani are now facing the pressures of oil and lumber exploitation. It is in their hands and in the hands of the authorities in charge to make sure their culture is respected. Their open manner of living, their language, and their customs offer a privileged learning experience for any person who visits their territory. With deep respect, we leave the Waorani people with the legend that tells of a jaguar that fell in love with a woman who was bathing in the river. And in order to reach her, he asked the shaman to turn him into a human. And it is from him that all the peoples of the jungle have sprung. In the canton of Orellana, we went south the canton of Loreto. Part of this territory is occupied by another national park, the Sumaco-Napo Galeras National Park, designated by the UNESCO as one of 389 biosphere reserves in the world. The people who live here work at maintaining it unchanged, and for this reason, they have named it the Loreto Ecological Canton. They have a secondary school that specializes in tourism. On the shores of the Suno River, they have built cabins where visitors can fully enjoy learning about new places. One of its outstanding points of interest is the Manto de la Dama, meaning the lady's shawl. At nightfall on the fourth day of the competition, young people from Loreto and their mayor went out to the parish of Huatecocha to welcome the athletes with fruit and fresh yuca and wish them well. We want to wish you the best of luck, and may the best of you win. But part of the program should really not be thinking about winning, just about competing and learning about our jungle. Learning everything about it, about its food, and about so many cultures living here in this tropical